One of the big things I've been trying to do on my channel right now is actually providing information that you guys care about. And a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me in terms of like Canadian immigration and having questions around that.
Moving to a new country, you know that at least you have to find a place to live. You have to get money for your living expense. You have to feed yourself and your family. I went back to school and now I just finished medical school.
Okay, you said she went back to school. Bear in mind, she already had a master's before she crossed the pond.
Really?
And she still went back to do course on course on course on top of course.
Information is key to your success in Canada.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Sassy Funke and I'm a Nigerian travel and lifestyle content creator. So on my channel, you're gonna find like flight reviews, travel vlogs, travel content, just anything to really help the average Nigerian African traveler travel better, smarter. One of the big things I've been trying to do on my channel right now is actually providing information that you guys care about. And a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me in terms of like Canadian immigration and having questions around that. And the truth is, I'm not knowledgeable. I'm not Canadian. I've never moved to Canada before, so I've never dived into that. But right now I'm actually in Regina, you know,
Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, here's my cousin. I'm going to introduce her in a second. This video is going to be essentially about her Canadian immigration story, essentially. So she immigrated from Africa to Canada, right? She's going to talk about our journey there. If it's your first time, first of all, there's a price to pay for this video. There's so much information that we're throwing at you guys. So you need to hit that red button, subscribe, like be a part of the family. This is the price, you know? Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you really enjoy it, so that I know that I can create more content like this for you in the future. So make sure you do that. Okay, so here's my cousin Tola. I am going to let her introduce herself, then we'll jump straight into the video.
Hi, YouTubers. That's what it's called. My name is Tola.
Our fans.
I live in Canada. This is basically a hijack. She did not give me a break or a hint that we're having this video, but otherwise, nice to meet you. Good day. And how are you doing? I hope you're good. I am good.
Yes.
So
okay, so we're going to talk about her Canadian immigration story. I'm going to ask a number of questions so that to dive into the topics. At the end, you have to stay to the end of this video. Why? She's going to be giving her honest, like true opinion in terms of advice, key advice for people that are in, whether it's any African country, they're thinking about, should I even try and come to Canada? What is really important for them to have in mind before they do, and the advice you give to them. So make sure you stay to the end to watch that part of the video. Getting straight into it, where were you before? I said you were in Africa, but where were you specifically before you moved here?
I was born and raised in Nigeria. So I was in Nigeria.
And how many years ago was this that you were in Nigeria before you moved?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what really prompted the move?
I would say marriage.
Okay.
You know, fresh marriage, husband wanted to move, and I just had to go with them.
Let's go with her.
Yeah. It was basically mainly my husband's decision. But we're fresh, we're excited, we're young, we're adventurous. So we said, let's do it.
Let's do it. And he was a Nigerian.
He was born and raised in Nigeria.
So it wasn't like he already had a Canadian passport and he says, let me take her. No. Let me take her along. No.
We're with our green, lovely passport.
Our lovely passport. Yes. Okay, so which route did you guys take to move to Canada?
We came through the skilled worker program.
Is that program still on now? It's not anymore. I don't know. It's been a while.
It's like the experience class or something like that.
They called me for something else. Okay. So you came through the skilled worker. That's how you applied, because I guess he had some skills that were in demand.
In demand, occupation in demand, more like occupation in demand.
Okay.
Now, so the list was there and our occupation were there. So yeah.
And you were a dependent. So
yeah, it was the principal applicant and I was dependent.
Okay, and you guys didn't have any kids. It was just freshly married, moving to.
Yeah, we have a fresh baby.
No, before you
applied, yeah.
But when you applied, you already had a fresh baby.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so how long was that route from you guys saying, I'm applying for this skilled work, to actually getting the embassy saying, stamp, you can come to our country?
It took like 6 to 8 months. I would rather say, yeah.
6 to 8 months. That's quite quick.
Mm-hmm.
Quite quick. But 6 to 8 months, I feel like you don't. I never hear those stories in Nigeria. So did you actually apply for Nigeria?
No, we applied from Southern Africa, Botswana.
Botswana.
Yes, we had
Right.
a residency there. My husband was working there briefly.
Okay.
So we just were there transiently. So we applied from there.
From there.
So the process was so short from those kind of countries. They just have less than 2 million population. How many applications would they be processing anyways?
Of course, compared to Nigeria,
Yeah.
but everyone is applying.
Everyone
so
is
the,
applying,
the
yeah.
time wait is definitely
Yeah.
going to be much longer. So I guess that's something for you to bear in mind, that if you have a residency somewhere, maybe it's easier for you to apply from there
Yeah,
than
sure.
applying from Nigeria, where you know that everybody's applying. So
Everybody's applying, and the process was long. And at that time, I think they were processing it in Ghana. So there was no processing center in Nigeria.
right.
Actually, even at that point, there was this older immigration process that took like 5 years, 4 years, and I don't know if I would come to Canada with those kind of routes.
kind of
I
processes?
don't think I would do that.
I guess I want to know, like, in Nigeria before, to give context, you were working before in Nigeria.
Oh, sure.
So you were working before. You were working as a
banker,
yeah.
and I enjoyed my work.
You enjoyed your work.
Yeah, I was climbing the ladder gradually. It was fun, but sometimes marriage kind of make the rest of your life take the back seat, right? So yeah, with marriage we had to move. So I chose to move.
Yeah, so I guess you didn't continue your banking when you moved
No.
there to Canada.
To Canada. Not immediately, I did. Eventually I did. I was a banker, but it was just for a brief period of time before I went back to my motherhood, cook and clean.
Okay.
But eventually, yes, I got the same level of professional job I was doing back home, even better, which I enjoyed doing. I really love my job, even here in Canada. But things just have to change. We kept moving, and I just have to change the job as well. So yes, I was a banker in Nigeria, and I became a banker in Canada too. So for short, yeah.
Yeah. But when you moved, I would assume moving to a new place, you moved to Ontario, right? Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
You moved to Toronto, and I could imagine with any move, there are probably a lot of struggles that you encountered when moving.
Yes, there are struggles, but would I really say there are struggles? I would rather say that it's a process. Yes, I would rather use that word, because this is a new country, new life, new culture, new marriage, new family was just started. Everything was new at the same time. So you just have to sort things one at a time. Yes, you just have to find your footing, find your accommodation, then you find your job. Now you are pregnant, you have children, little ones in diapers, so those things are happening at the same time. Those kind of complicates your challenge, your process, and makes it looks like a challenge, but gradually things will sort themselves out. Your kids will get older, you would eventually settle down. So,
But you said things will sort themselves out. Some people might read that as, oh, I could just come here and things sort themselves out. Like, was there anything on your part that you intentionally did to ensure that things did sort themselves out?
oh sure, moving to a new country, that at least you have to find a place to live. You have to get money for your living expense. You have to feed yourself and your family. That means you have to look for a job. What kind of job? You have to verify your degree. You have to try to be in your profession at least. If you cannot, then you have to see what I can do to upgrade my degree, to make my degree relevant, or to do something else entirely. So it's not you sitting down and things will sort themselves. What I mean by things will sort themselves from the perspective of a woman is, oh yeah, I came with young kids, young babies. They are going to grow up and you are going to be more free to do
To
stuff.
do things you want to do, right?
Yeah, so your head is gonna be more clear. Unlike when your hands are full.
Okay, so I think you mentioned in terms of being a woman, like it's not really like struggles, just like a process of things, how things move, how your kids are gonna get older, so you're gonna have your own time to actually do the things you want to do anyway,
sure.
to naturally evolve to that.
Oh yeah.
So for you, essentially, you were saying that you were essentially the mother. You were playing the mother, like the home carer role for a while, raising your kids, right? And you were a banker, but you're no longer a banker now. Like, what are you now, and what have you done to get there?
After raising my kids, I went through several training processes. Took courses in the university, took courses in the colleges, just to make my career to be relevant. You can't just stay out of school, out of work, out of a job, even out of volunteering forever and feel that you are still relevant. You have to upgrade yourself. So that way, just for me to stay relevant and be able to integrate into jobs, which helped. And eventually I got a job and I was happy. Also, I just felt that, okay, I want to study some more. I went back to school and now I just finished medical school.
Okay, you said she went back to school. Bear in mind, she already had a master's before she crossed the pond.
Really?
And she still went back to do course on course on course on top of course. And now, yes, so.
Well, I don't know if I like studying. I don't like studying. I just felt that I want to study and I need to study. So I just study when I need to study. I don't like studying.
I guess you've come far from what you were before. For me, the biggest lesson I'm taking from it is definitely like, even though you were something before in Nigeria, right, you're in an environment now that sort of cultivates you to become what you want to become, if you want to become it. So if you're determined to say, you know what, I want to make a change, it's not like you can actually make that change. And sort of like, I don't know, I think someone mentioned to me today about depending on where you live too, there are a lot of opportunities in terms of like how provinces actually support education and support settlement and support all those things. Right.
Most provinces do that in Canada. If you are ready to fly, they are ready to give you wings, right?
Right.
Most provinces will support you, but in a way, hopefully you'll be able to give back after that support, because if you're not being supported, to just stay irrelevant. They just want it to be relevant to the economy. So in a way, I think eventually everybody benefits from it, right?
Okay. What would you say has been the toughest part of your journey, your immigration journey? And it might not be something so intensely like tough, but like I think right now you might look, it's easy to look back. I think there's nothing was really tough. It was just a process. But when you were living it, right, what would you say was like, oh my God, this thing was actually like tough for me,
What was actually tough was actually getting a job. Getting a job was tough for me, to be sincere, and that kept me to be studying. Everything. I studied everything. If you tell me there's a course to how to write resumes, I'll go and do it. I studied, and that was a challenge because you thought that, oh, this is not good enough. I got a lot of interviews, a whole lot, but I didn't get a job. So I kept reevaluating myself. What did I do wrong? Sometimes I won't write them, like
get feedback.
Get feedback.
Right.
Sometimes we'll go as a group, maybe from the courses we did. They send us to go do interviews, so we kind of know the applicants. We kind of know ourselves. Or even we might meet on the day of the interview at the waiting room and have a discussion, and we exchange numbers, and eventually you kind of know who your competitor was and who actually got the job among you, so
you can get a sense of maybe what they had or so that was most difficult part for you, just getting a job like that.
Getting a job, getting past interview stage. Sometimes you do 2 interviews for the same job and you feel like, oh, I think I'm getting shortlisted, and you don't get a call.
Right.
So
do you think that has also to do with competition too?
Yeah.
Or do you think?
Oh yeah, we're living in Toronto, and
right.
Toronto was very competitive. And we as Nigerians, we have different culture, especially when you're competing with the Westerners. They are more confident. They talk more. Their interview process is more engaging.
Right.
You just go there answering questions. Where do you live? This one answer question. You just go there talking about you know, they answer the questions with a story,
with emotions, with
where do you live? I live in Regina, Saskatchewan. I was actually born in Nigeria, and I moved to Regina, and my baby was born in
So they get to know you beyond just your single one word answer, your
yes and no answer. So eventually the interview tends to be engaging rather than interview. Oh, my boss is interviewing me. You are seated with your head straight and everything. They interact. They talk about their life, everything. And eventually, you know, interviews are about connection. Once the interviewer is able to connect with you, because those are also your workmates, right?
You want to know they can be able to work with you.
Can we work with you?
Relatable,
You know, you are not open, you're too closed up. They feel like, no, we can't relate with you properly. So that kind of personality, you know, those are things you learn when you actually get into the system. That our culture doesn't make us to, you know, to form relationship properly. We're just, you know, we're kind of closed. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess to close this, and this is the part that I told you guys to wait for, because I think it's going to be amazing. Give me 3 key advice for anyone that is in, not just Nigeria, but any African country that is really thinking about, I want to move to Canada. What are 3 key things, advice you give them, like when they're thinking about this? What would you tell them?
Number 1, go for it. Canada is a great place to be for you, for family, for whatever it is. It's a great place. Number 2, it's your choice, it's your thought. So you're already thinking about it. Oh, am I to say no? Then number 2, coming to Canada, understand that there might be process that looks like a setback for you. It might be even in your finances, in your career, in everything. There might be a process that may look like a setback. Some people it's not. Some people just get into it and they hit the ground running.
They breeze.
You might have a stop, you know, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna be like that forever. By the time you figure things out, you are actually going to hit the floor running too, right?
Yeah.
So those processes are probably what people hear about Canada. Oh, you get to Canada, you don't get a job, you don't get life is tough. Most people, life is not tough. Most people, because people don't put things in perspective. They did not only leave Nigeria or other African countries just for their jobs, just for the dollar, right? They live for several other things. For their family, for their children, for their lifestyle, you know,
things that you have. If you quantify it, it's a lot.
You know, it's a lot. It's more than just your paycheck.
True.
And even the paycheck, you are coming here. So many other things are going to be free for you, and you know, which you pay for with your fat paycheck back home. Which I'm not going to start mentioning here. Lastly, moving to Canada, like I said, is a great place, but my advice is when you eventually settle down, be a good ambassador. People are going to come after you. People are going to piggyback on your experiences, and they are going to look up to you. Even in the community you find yourself, what I mean by that is it could be work, it could be residential, it could be anything. People are looking up to you. You are representing your community, you are representing your country, and that way, you know, you speak for everyone.
One thing you had said before we filmed this video was also about, in terms of advice, in terms of people that you surround yourself with when you move here, and how that also really sort of can define your path here.
To a great extent, I wouldn't say that in totality. The circle you find yourself, these people you move with, they go a long way to how much information or how much resources you have access to. So eventually you are likely to be limited to those resources or information to work with. But if you have opportunity of being exposed to larger resources, larger source of wealth of information, you are likely to excel and do better than people with limited resources, right? So
information is key.
Information is key to your success in Canada. But at the same time, some people still find themselves in those limited settings,
I guess.
But still they fly. But those are usually exceptions. But on the majority, but still, if you are a researcher, you can read, you can study, you can go out, you can form relationship, you can network. you're gonna go far. That's about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So that, I hope that has been very, very useful for you guys, because I did hijack her to really make this video for me, because I knew how useful it would be for you guys. Because a lot of times I feel like, you know, you can't really trust the information that's out there. You know, an agent gives you information you don't really know. I think hearing somebody else's story can maybe encourage you guys to, you know, put in the work to actually put that step to Canada. Yeah, so if you have any questions for my cousin, you can leave them in the comment section, and I will try and force her, send it to her, and she'll reply, and I'll sort of like leave the comments in there on her behalf. So feel free to do that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Your Q&A question that you asked me is going to be in the next video, so stay tuned for that. And there'll be a follow-up videos to it too, in terms of mistakes a lot of Nigerians make when applying and when settling in Canada. We're going to do that later on. But thank you so much for being so engaged. Thank you to my cousin Tala for being super sweet. But I give this thing 500 likes, so because she, as if I come here again, she wants to do it. So make sure you encourage her by your comments and by your thumbs up. Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and I will see you guys on my next video.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.